It's the absolute best reporting and storytelling from Fox 32 Chicago. You gotta see it. Here's what you gotta see. Next, take a spin at this unique Southside roller rink.
We want to have the rink as an extension into our community, and what that looks like, we're open for it.
Get lawn care advice from the White Sox groundskeeper.
Little tricks of the trade that I learned from my dad. You know, he was here for 43 years before me.
And he's the Hollywood maestro, one-on-one with composer Hans Zimmer.
I didn't want to do the movie, but I had a 6-year-old daughter, and I just wanted to show off as a dad.
You gotta see it.
This is our wall of fame.
People leave a piece of themselves in the places that matter most. This wall is one of those places, echoes of laughter, triumph, and the kind of connection that never fades.
It's been here like 25, 30 years. When people come into the rink, they look up and they go, oh, there's my auntie. Oh, there's my cousin.
Long before Ramona and Curtis Pouncey took ownership of the rink in 2019, they spent countless evenings here.
Cross.
Date nights spent floating across the floor, falling into the music, falling into each other.
How long have you guys been married?
You want to answer that? Get it right.
39 years.
39 years in March.
More than a decade before they skated into forever, the rink opened on June 10th, 1975, at its first location over on South Ashland Avenue. This article captured the promise of a space built for Black families to gather and grow together. By 1983, the rink outgrew that space, its roots needing a fresh plot that could conduct flourishing energy.
The building itself, it used to be an old electrical company, and they did their manufacturing thing here. This was their corporate office as well. And Nate Simpson and Carmen Simpson, the founders of the rink, came in and just started a major conversion.
Converting an old warehouse on East 87th Street into the new heartbeat of the community. For 45 years, the Simpsons kept the pulse strong. But when the time came to pass the rink on, they needed someone who already moved to its rhythm. The Pounceys did.
We cannot let this rink go because we knew it would devastate our community, and that's why I said it's bigger than us. And so we had to buckle down, and make a plan and decide and be determined how to bring this rink back to its glory.
That determination did more than save the rink. It brought back its magic. Sleeker flooring, shinier lights, softer carpet, and stronger lockers.
Once that was done and the skaters came back, we had grown men in their 60s skating around here with tears in their eyes.
The emotion spins beyond these walls, gliding on screen.
Hey guys.
Hey, Andrea.
Hey Kev.
Rolling onto sport's biggest stage.
We had a couple skaters here that skated at our rink, and they were actually in the Super Bowl last year with Usher skating.
And circling through the music industry.
Wilco did their video here.
They saw the JB style skating
Yes.
from the videos.
Right.
And they said, we want JB style skating in our rock
In
video.
our rock and roll video.
JB, short for James Brown. Blends footwork, flair, and funk. A style born in Chicago and now seen across the globe.
We'll get people that will come here from London, China, all over the world, saying, I saw the videos and I want to learn that JB skating style. Right. And they will come here and stay for an entire week and come every single day that we're open to pick up that style.
The rink does more than teach skating. It teaches possibility. Kids step on the floor, unsure of themselves, and leave knowing exactly who they are.
It has kept them out of trouble, from joining gangs to getting involved with drugs, and just put them on the right path.
Curtis and I, we might see some young people that are here every week and they look a little down. It's nothing for us to go over and say, what's going on with you? You don't have to tell me exactly what's going on, but we want you to know that we care about you, and whatever it is, you're going to get through this. We've seen people, they might be into drugs or the wrong friends. I'm like, come here. You hanging around the wrong people. You doing too much right now, so you need to stop it. And I'll be straight up with them.
Growing up, Michelle Harris also found guidance at the rink.
When you have places like this, they create an identity for you.
Now, as 8th Ward Alderman, Harris fights to preserve what shaped her and honor its legacy.
They create memories, which are certainly really important in developing who you become as an adult.
50 years is incredible for any business, let alone a black business. Talk about what this milestone means for the neighborhood and the community.
So this is one of the only African-American owned skating rinks, probably in the state. So when you think about what it means, it's iconic, because to survive 50 years is amazing, number one. But secondly, to survive 50 years in the African-American community, it means that you have jumped through hurdles, you have climbed tall mountains with a single bound. You have been Superman in this industry, and you're still here.
Not just here, but unbreakable. Like the connection the rink forges for all these faces and those who now call Chicago home. The kind of connection that never fades and always rolls forward.
We want to have the rink as an extension into our community. And what that looks like, we're open for it. And that's what we want to bring in for the next 50 years.
It was 2012 when this famous building at 816 West Armitage closed its doors for good, leaving behind a reputation and a legacy made famous by the iconic chef Charlie Trotter.
This is the room I'm dubbing Charlie's room because we kept it as historical as possible.
Today, it is being brought back to life by his only child, Dylan.
People under 40 don't know who Charlie Trotter was, but we need to look to the past to see that we stand on the shoulders of giants. And what they did, they walked so we could run. And what my father did was very monumental.
Neighbors wafted up as I pour it over. This is just outrageous. And there are so many possibilities. We're gonna go and make this thing.
For 25 years, Charlie Trotter's restaurant in Lincoln Park would draw people from all over the world who would fly in to Chicago just to try his famous tasting menu.
Gorgeous.
Trotter was a visionary. He is set to be the first in many areas when it comes to the restaurant world, including the first to create a vegetarian tasting menu and the first to put a chef's table in the kitchen.
He never went to culinary school, so he didn't know the rules, and therefore he could break the rules and form something new.
This is the original kitchen?
Yes, with all the original equipment from 1996.
Today, there are cooks in the kitchen once again in a temporary pop-up that is being hosted by Chicago's famous 3-star Alinea restaurant. Chef Grant Achatz was trained by Charlie Trotter himself. It is a full circle moment, as many stories have been told that Achatz and Trotter were on the outs when he died of a stroke at the age of 54 in 2013.
Near the end of my dad's life, they did make up and were friends, and my dad invited Chef Achatz over to his house for multiple parties with the Chicago restaurant community and really made him feel welcome and part of the community.
This pop-up is all about memories and restoration. The menu is 10 courses inspired by Trotter's first 5 cookbooks, and the restaurant has been painstakingly updated so you are taken back in time.
If you look around this room, we have the original wallpaper from 1987, the original sconces, the original dining room chairs.
Dylan even restored the kitchen using parts he purchased from eBay, including for this French range that is no longer made.
Painstakingly restored to its original purpose.
How does it make you feel to see this kitchen alive again?
It's unbelievable. It's very moving. Never thought I'd see the day.
For now, Trotter's will only be open until February 9th. Tickets for the 2-week pop-up sold out in an hour, so they added another couple of weeks. For Dylan, who grew up in this restaurant, the experience isn't just nostalgic for him, but also for customers lucky enough to get in and share countless stories of the past.
There's a couple from Dallas that flew in and said that it was their, they were on their 3rd date here back in 2008 when they said "I love you" to each other. And they heard that this opened back up, they immediately booked it to fly all the way here.
The pop-up has brought not only customers back together, but former friends and chefs trained under Trotter as well. So what's next? Dylan is still trying to figure that out. His goal is to eventually open the restaurant permanently, but he hasn't figured out in what form just yet.
This is only the beginning. There are 12 cookbooks that my dad wrote. There's 3 textbooks that he wrote, and thousands and thousands of unique menus and recipes, and just a philosophy of beginning conversations with people about passion and pursuing excellence and just what drives you in life.
What do you think your dad would think of this?
I think this is what other people tell me. They think that my dad would be proud of me for starting this up again and taking a chance and show off the space that he created and this legacy that he cemented.
Here's what you gotta see. Next, get lawn care advice from the White Sox groundskeeper.
Little tricks of the trade that I learned from my dad. He was here for 43 years before me.
And this Chicago company's quest for the perfect ice cube.
It takes all the air bubbles out, which makes a really dense block of ice and allows it to melt really, really slowly.
You gotta see it.
The social media role of what we do here is really vital.
My favorite platforms to be able to connect to the viewer is really Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. I try daily to post updates.
I really think Instagram is helpful. We can send out stories that are up to date.
We have to meet our viewers where they are, across all platforms, across all media.
Using every available tool to get important weather information to you. That's what it means to be the weather authority.
It's the absolute best reporting and storytelling from Fox 32 Chicago. You gotta see it.
Roger Bossard. I'm the head groundskeeper of the Chicago White Sox. It's the sod father, and I actually don't mind it. I think it's sort of cute because I'm always working in grass. This is my 59th year, and every year's been special. For Major League groundkeepers, opening day is certainly the most important day of the year. You want your grass to be nice and green. You want the infield area to be nice and soft for the cushion of the ball for the infielders. This spring, we're putting in the track. I rebuilt the bullpens. If you were here a week ago, you would have seen my field would have been completely black. What I do is I cover my field with charcoal for 10 days. Charcoal gives me an extra 6 to 7 degrees heat and helps me bring the plant out of dormancy. So little tricks of the trade that I learned from my dad. He was here for 43 years before me. You always worry about the infield clay. 70% of the action is there. That's the area that has to be perfect. Robin Ventura always liked third base on the soft side, so I would wet it a little bit more for him. Ozzie Guillen always wanted the back 6 feet of the infield clay near the grass firm for his first 2 steps. I'm the 3rd generation. It started with my grandfather in 1933 with the Cleveland Indians. He had 3 sons. My dad, of course, was one of them. He took the job here in 1940. My cousin was the head groundskeeper with the Padres for 7 years. Then he went with the Yankees. My 2 uncles took over from my grandfather when he retired. So there's 6 of us that have been Major League head groundskeepers, and we have a total of actually over 230 years in professional baseball. In all my years here, I think we've missed 3 opening days because of snow. Actually, it was a close call about 4 years ago. We had 2 inches of snow the morning of opening day. What I did then, city water comes out at 49 to 50 degrees. So I turned the irrigation system on at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I literally melted 2 inches of snow before opening day. So once again, a little trick of the trade, if you will. Opening day for a Major League groundskeeper. Just give me 43 degrees in the sun. That's all I ask for. There's something about that beautiful sunny day that's special on opening day.
Quarry Ice, best ice in town.
We're here in the West Fulton Market neighborhood, known to be home to some of the best restaurants in the city, but it's also the site of a local interesting artisanal ice company that's helping to elevate cocktails at restaurants and bars. Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes of Quarry Ice. Here we are inside Quarry Ice, and I want you to meet the couple that started it all. I'm standing here with Audrey and Neil Sullivan, the co-founders, the owners, some of the most beautiful ice you will ever see. Tell me how this all came about.
It all started on Lake Michigan. It was an 80-degree day in Chicago. We were out on a boat.
Okay.
We were with friends. Everything was perfect. I was drinking my margarita, and within minutes, my margarita was warm, the ice melted, and we looked in the cooler, and the bags of ice were melted. And I looked at Neil, and I was like, there has to be a better way. It's hot, we're in the middle of the lake, and there is no ice. We went on the search for the perfect ice cube.
And that's how Quarry Ice was born. And this is one thing I love, and we're gonna tell you about how this is all made, but take a look at this. You can buy this ice at the grocery store now. This is what it looks like when you go to the grocery store. But before we get to that, we're gonna walk you through the process on how Quarry Ice is made. Let's go, guys.
We are a Japanese-inspired brand. The name Quarry, which is an allusion to mining for gems and diamonds for your drink, it actually is how you pronounce ice in Japanese.
We use the same purification process as bottled water, reverse osmosis purification. A lot of people think that purification leads to clarity and slow melt of the ice.
I would think so.
It's not. And it's directionally freezing the water. So the water moves as it freezes and takes all the air bubbles out, which makes a really dense block of ice and allows it to melt really, really slowly. The next step is harvesting and then cutting. It takes 3 days to freeze a block of ice. And then we precision cut our ice with samurai steel.
This is what I'm most excited about. Let's go.
Sylvia, these spheres are milled with the same steel used to forge samurai swords. Very sharp, very precise. The other nice thing about these spheres is they represent the lowest melt rate of any of the geometric shapes.
But look how crystal clear that is.
Beautiful.
I feel like it's a crystal ball. I can tell my future. What do you see in your future?
Magic and a lot of fun.
A lot of success.
A lot of success.
This is where the cubes are made. Tell me about this process.
Exactly. So once the ice is frozen for 72 hours, when we're making the large cubes, it comes to this station. What we're doing here is Shaq is placing the cubes in our retail trays, which will then be sealed.
What's special about these cubes? They're slow dissolving and clear as a bell, right?
Clear as a bell, slow dissolving, there's no flavor interference, so the drink stays true to taste. On an average day, we're producing at least 30,000 cubes.
Let's talk about your mission because it's more than just ice.
That's right. One of the things we wanted to do, what we endeavored to do, is to build a company that really accepted people that were maybe outside of the fold, that could feel at home in a company such as ours. People who need a second chance, for example, may have made a mistake early on in their lives, and we wanted to be there for those individuals.
When I first met them, I was in a bad time in my life, and they brought me in. They showed me love, showed me how to produce more. It's been a good experience here.
They gave me the opportunity to, establish myself back.
Every time a customer comes and buys a box of Quarry, whether it's a restaurant or retail, they're really helping us elevate their drinks and elevating the dreams of the people we serve.
The rest is history.
It is a beautiful thing, and this is some beautiful ice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sylvia.
Here's what you gotta see. Next, he's the Hollywood maestro, one-on-one with composer Hans Zimmer.
I didn't want to do the movie, but I had a 6-year-old daughter, and I just wanted to show off as a dad.
You gotta see it. This weekend, kick back and catch up with Fox 32 on Fox Local. Recap the week's must-know news.
A Chicago police officer trying his best to capture this coyote.
Relive Fox 32's best.
Today, I'm taking you on the Chicago water taxi.
Plus the latest political and sports buzz.
Why pick this fight with the governor who you need?
Let's talk about championship weekend.
Watch live or anytime on demand. Weekends at Fox 32 on Fox Local. Download now on these streaming services. It's the absolute best reporting and storytelling from Fox 32 Chicago. You gotta see it.
They say if you want to truly understand the power of a movie composer, watch the film without their music. Then take it back. And put the music back in. That is the power of Hans Zimmer.
I didn't want to do the movie, but I had a 6-year-old daughter, and I just wanted to show off as a dad.
For without Hans Zimmer, The Dark Knight does not save Gotham City.
Batman actually was this idea of being stuck. When his parents get shot, it's like, because this...
Gladiators do not fight to the death in the Colosseum.
Weirdly, I knew exactly what I wanted it to be, but it took me forever until actually Ridley was going, just go with what you have.
And pirates do not sail the 7 seas.
Drink up, me hearty yo-ho.
But the one thing I see is that his pirates are rock and rollers. I mean, that's really what they are. So I just went, I'm just going to go orchestral rock and roll, whatever that is.
Hans Zimmer is one of the most acclaimed, accomplished, and awe-inspiring movie composers in cinematic history.
Mr. Zimmer, this is the honor of a lifetime.
Ask me anything.
The notes of his soulfully cinematic movie melodies have spoken to film fans in ways that words never could. But for Zimmer, it's more than just notes on a page. The music is personal.
I get to the scene with the father dying, and my dad died when I was 6. So, and I recognize something. I recognize something which I think I really am. I'm really right about. Children don't get over these traumas. They just figure a good way of hiding them away.
Dad, come on. You gotta get up.
And now I'm supposed to write something about a father's death and the little child left behind. And so I basically end up writing a requiem for my dad. The Simba climbing up in the rain at the end is really me freeing myself of all the trauma, of all the stuff that I didn't know was sort of hurting me. It's not about becoming king. For me, it was a moment of growing up and becoming human.
And the Oscar goes to Hans Zimmer for The Lion King.
The 2-time Oscar winner has been championed as one of the great composers of our time, turning obstacles into opportunities. He wrote the theme for Pirates of the Caribbean in one night.
I said, what are you going to do next? He goes, I'm going to do a pirate movie. I'm going, not from the ride, the Disney ride. He goes, yeah. I'm going, that's a terrible idea. That's like the worst idea I've ever heard. And so the following week, I'm going, how's the pirate movie going? And then I get a phone call from Gore, and he's in a bit of trouble, and he's a friend, and it's Sunday. He shows me the movie, and I think the movie is absolutely brilliant, and I eat my words. The majority of the themes were written from 7:30 till 4:30 a.m. But I'm so tired. The next day I just played Gore, the crazy mess I made the night before, and it was like, yeah, go.
He wrote the score for Interstellar without even knowing what the movie was about.
yet again, I mean, Interstellar was incredibly personal for me because the way Chris made me write it was that he didn't tell me what the movie was about. He sent me a letter about what it means to be a parent and what it means to be on this earth. And can I just write a piece about that? So that's how we started. No time for caution. But that's what we've been doing all along. I mean, that's what Chris has been doing, that's what I've been doing. You know, all on the way to climbing that ladder, putting that spaceship back together, or whatever it is. It's basically, I'm trying to say to them, no time for caution.
His filmography is a mecca of musical magnitude, but even Hans Zimmer has heroes. No, not him. Him. The man who wrote the music for 1978's Superman, iconic composer John Williams.
The amazing, brilliant theme that John Williams wrote, which was the last notes going, Superman, I mean, it's like, he really does it.
12 years ago, Zimmer was asked to do the impossible, create a new Superman theme that could fly next to Williams for the film Man of Steel. A reminder that composers can't write the music until they understand the character.
Let me talk about the Superman character, because looking down at, or being objective about the character, and what I tried to do is, I was thinking, so what is this man? What is this character about? He's Superman, but I think growing up on the farm in Kentucky, he's desperately trying to figure out how to become a human, how to become a man. He wants something which is humble and human.
For Hans Zimmer, the notes on the sheet music are his fingerprints on the film.
To this day, when I go somewhere and people don't know who I am, and they have the habit of going, well, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a musician. They go, no, what do you do for a living?
A man who pours his soul into his music and turns movie moments into movie miracles.
I am a musician. That's what I do.
They say if you want to truly understand the power of a movie composer, watch the film without their music. But for fans of Hans Zimmer, it's a sound they never want to hear.
Thanks for reliving the best of Fox 32 Chicago with us. See you next time.